Morning, guys. So, well, might be afternoon now, actually, by the time you see this. But anyway, I've got two articles I want to go through with you today. One is from The Athletic regarding the ongoing financial repercussions that Liverpool have got of being back in the Champions League and how much money they've actually earned so far and what they could still earn. And then also the Lewis Steele article talking about the transfer ongoings at Liverpool, or lack of, shall we say, right now. But before we get to that, guys, I want to give you all the quick reminder, obviously, to like this video if you do enjoy it. Leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts on the topics I'm about to cover. And if you are new here and you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And for those of you that are interested in becoming a member of this channel, the giveaway is tomorrow, the 1st of February, for the signed Stan Collymore shirt. So today is your last day to get involved with that, guys. Starts at $1.99 and goes up to $2.99. Pick whichever one you want. It just gives you an option to get in to win the signed Stan Collymore shirt tomorrow. So, anyway, let me get started with this. Again, guys, I can't show you these due to them being behind a paywall. But here we go. So the first one I'll touch on is the one on The Athletic, and it's titled, Liverpool have enjoyed a Champions League cash bonanza. Bonanza. So will FSG start spending it? Now, just to start off with that, that's a good title from us Liverpool fans, you know, the ones that are not so lenient, shall we say, with how things are going on and lack of spending that's going on at Liverpool in certain windows. You know, they have spent, you know, on midfielders and stuff like that, but, you know, the successful teams out there, even going back to Sir Alex Ferguson's Man United, every year they were making transfers, swapping parts out, stuff like this. You know, you take one out, put another one in. You're always looking for a better, and that's something that we just don't seem to do a lot of, basically. And this is written by Greg Evans. So I aren't going to read the full thing out to you, but I'm just going to pull out some key bits. So it says here that after recording 7 wins out of 8, Liverpool are closing in on at least €100 million, which is £83.8 million in Champions League prize money alone, with a further £56.5 million still to play for. Factor in the additional matchday revenue that big fixtures at Anfield bring, the club earn between £3 and £4 million for each home game, with sellout crowds as good as guaranteed. And the importance of being back in Europe's premium competition after a year away becomes clear. Slot will rightly focus on his side's positive on-field performances, which have included memorable victories against Real Madrid, Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. But the influx of such a large amount of cash will fuel the angst amongst the fans who want to see greater investment from FSG. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit further here. Seeing that money flowing certainly makes it harder for FSG to stick so resolutely to its careful approach to spending. It does, doesn't it? Like, how can we even justify not spending any money when we've got that from the Champions League alone, guys? That doesn't take into account Carabao, FA, Premier League, anything else that's going on with the club right now. You're looking at nearly 100 million so far just from the Champions League. I can't. History suggests that more money coming into the club does not always equate to a big investment in the squad. FSG places sustainability at the heart of its operations and prefers to wait for the right player to become available. Rather than being lured into overspending, no one is asking for that. No one is asking for them to go out and overspend. An example came last summer with Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi. He was Liverpool's top transfer target, but when that deal could not be done, they opted not to go for an alternative in his defensive midfielder position, which, you know, we've seen the blossom of Ryan Gravenberch this season, but that doesn't answer the question. Ryan Gravenberch needs a successor. Slot obviously does not prefer Endo to come into there, otherwise we'd have seen more of Endo this season. So we still need someone for that position. There is no sign it will stretch the club beyond its means anytime soon, despite seeing the value of its assets multiply considerably since its $300 million takeover in 2010. Liverpool were the lowest spenders in the last summer transfer window, only signing Chiesa for a deal worth up to $12.5 million. A 29 million deal for Mamadashvili was also agreed, although he stayed at Valencia until the end of the season. With 4 days of the current transfer window remaining, Liverpool are yet to do any business. Slots, some quotes here from Slot. Should we read these out? All right. People haven't seen us do a lot in the transfer window, but we're happy with the squad, Slot told the BBC. In the background, we are working on strengthening the squad for the summer. That would mean that for the upcoming 4th seasons, we will be able to challenge for every trophy we are playing for. That's not pretty good. Well, I hope so, and that ties into the Lewis Steele one, but we haven't got to that bit yet. Key to the future are also 3 soon-to-be out-of-contract players, Salah, Trent and Van Dijk, available to discuss free moves away this summer when their deals expire. Salah, Trent and Van Dijk have all been offered extensions but are yet to agree personal terms. Tension among the Anfield crowd continues to grow, with a recent banner reading "Now give Mo his dough," referencing the importance of FSG securing Salah beyond this season. I mean, you can't be saying it's lack of money why these lads are not being signed up. It's got to be down to the age, them trying to lowball them so they get like a less, they pay him less, or maybe even the contract length for Van Dijk and Salah, definitely. The Trent one's probably because he wants to move on, but definitely Salah and Trent is down to the club just not giving them what they see that they need. Of course, such negotiations aren't that simple. Neither is it as straightforward that now Liverpool are doing well in the Champions League again, that they should break from a structure that, despite criticism, has served them well over the years. I can kind of agree with bits of this here. Like, just because you're having a one good season doesn't mean you have to go and throw everything at it. But when you're making 100 million from one tournament, and you've got the other tournaments as well, and you've got the broadcast money and everything else that comes with it, it doesn't add up. You can spend something but still save a little to be prudent for the future. Do you know what I mean? It don't add up. Doesn't add up at all. Liverpool have received a €42 million drop in the broadcast revenue as well, apparently. So let's just go down a little bit further. They're talking about the figures that we spoke about before. Anything else worth talking about on here? This is all just about the Super League. Let's have a look at this here. So he's referencing Phil Buckingham, who explained in more detail that the prize pot is split in 3 ways. First, through an equal share of 18.62 million for each club. I reckon this is between the UEFA? Yeah, it's UEFA, isn't it? And then performance-related extras before third part. A new value pillar shaped by market pools and coefficients completes the total. Right, so this is the Champions League, how everyone gets paid. So everybody, when you come into the Champions League now, you get 18.62 million euros. Every club gets it. We already know what some of these figures are in advance, so they can be totted up along the way. Each win is worth 2.1 million. So every time you win a game in the Champions League, it's 2.1 million on top of the 18 you've already got. With a draw being 700,000, and then an additional payments are made for the final league position. Qualifying for the last 16 is 11 million. Qualifying for the quarter-final is an extra 12.5 million, and the semi-finals 15 and the final 18.5. The winners also then get on top of that a 6.5 million, as well as an additional 4 million for featuring in the Europa Super League the next season. So yeah, Liverpool could get some money out just the Champions League alone. Liverpool's total performance payments currently stand at almost 40 million euros. The value pillar is the more complex of the 3 and relates to the size of each club's domestic TV deal and historical performance in Europe. Liverpool are among the highest and are expected to bring in around 40 million, which added to their on-field performances represents a good start to 2025. The club's accountants will be thrilled, and Slot himself does not seem to be agitating for the kind of spending that some of his Premier League rivals are indulging in, which is probably why he got the job in the first place. Not a knock against him to say that he's not doing a good job, but that's probably part of the reason why he got the job in the first place. But given the sums pouring in, another quiet summer would lead to more awkward questions being asked of FSG and its long-term ambitions, 100%. This last bit again, I just want to read the end of the article here. Given the sums pouring in, another quiet summer would lead to more awkward questions being asked of FSG and its long-term ambitions. Agreed. There's many people thinking that Liverpool could be in for a big summer this year with the amount of players we need to replace. Slot finally gets a chance to decide which players he wants to keep and which ones he wants to move on. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it goes without saying. Now, onto the Lewis Steele one. I'm just going to pull out a few snippets from this. I'm not going to touch on everything in here. But basically, he said that recruitment meetings have taken place at the AXA with a view to attacking the summer transfer window. Slot believes his squad is very strong, and from the very first day at the club, insisted that he will not sign players for the sake of it, which would have been music to FSG. So in answer to the will they be happy with it part, the management team certainly are. A new addition would please fans, but this is the best squad in the Premier League. Barring a capitulation, they should romp to the league title. Now, again, I don't agree with that. Look, we saw against PSV when you don't have the main part of your first team playing, you drop off. I don't believe that. Right, next paragraph is all about what more do they need? Do they need money to spend? Apparently, money is no object. There are two positions that Liverpool could do with strengthening, though picking them out is probably scrapping the barrel of the debate points. They failed with a bid to sign Zubamendi from Sociedad, and the Spanish midfielder now looks certain to join Arsenal in the summer. Clearly, an extra body in the midfield department is desired, though Gravenberch's form saw this urgency fall. Left back is another area of concern. If we are being picky, Andy Robertson has failed to hit the heights of yesteryear, while Shimikas is an able deputy, but would say he is not up to scratch to be regular starter. The pair are both 30 and 28 respectively. Now, I don't think anyone's being picky when they talk about Andy Robertson's form. I mean, like when you go back a few years when him and Trent were like in the assist race, do you know what I mean? Trying to get as many assists as possible. I can't remember the last time Andy Robertson got an assist. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's been asked to do a different job, yada, 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 whatever. But I'm just saying. So, who are they targeting? In terms of January, as stated in this question and answer article before the window, Liverpool were not flustered by outside noise in the summer when they made just one signing. The Reds would only act if an opportunity presents itself this month, and that has not been the case. I actually was going to do a video yesterday on that. Liverpool could have gone and signed Xavi Simons from PSG, who has now joined RB Leipzig on a permanent deal. And I think that was for about 80 million euros. So probably, 70 million pounds. Great player. Player the number 10. Could come in. I think Liverpool would have done well with him. He could have played the false 9 as well if you're thinking about moving on from Darwin Núñez. Missed out. Opportunity. Missed out. Ajax defender Hato was at Anfield on Saturday, which raised eyebrows. It is understood he was there as a guest of Ryan Gravenberch, as the Dutch side had a free weekend. Their striker, Brian Bobby, also took a trip to London, for example, but nothing was related to a transfer. In addition, Hato was not in the posh sheets. If Liverpool were courting him, and ask yourself this, would they stick him in the regular punters? The defender is a classy talent and is likely to be a target for many clubs this summer, but his visit to Merseyside was not related to this. I get that. I understand that, but weird. Kerekes of Bournemouth is the one that Liverpool admire. Richard Hughes, the sporting director, signed him for Bournemouth. And the Hungarian international is represented by Federico Chiesa's agent. Of course, they could be in the market for a right-back if Trent was to leave for Real Madrid. And Bayer Leverkusen star Frimpong is expected to move this summer with a host of clubs keen, though it's not sure whether he fits into Slot's style. Who could leave, apparently? Several players could leave in the next few days. Jadon Dance, Cade Gordon, Tyler Morton, James McConnell, though McConnell may not go now. Any other ones here worth talking about? Nope, not really. That seems to be pretty much it for this guy. So yeah, I'll leave it there with you. I mean, we've talked about a fair bit there, but I think the crux of what I want to get across in this video is we've actually got a journalist speaking out about FSG a little bit and like saying that they need to go and spend the money, and they've got no reason why they can't. Lewis Steele talking about, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm getting fed up of talking about Richard Hughes in here and all this stuff. To be fair, I mean, there was something that was mentioned in. I've seen the pop up already in Arne Slot's press conference about Richard Hughes and Bournemouth. I mean, I fucking couldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But I'll be covering that in the match preview anyway, guys. But anyway, let me know down below what you think of all this, guys. I know it was a long video, a lot to take in, but I would appreciate your thoughts on this. Let me know down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.